Yes. So happy morning and a wonderful evening, masters. Um, so welcome to Spiritual Tablets meditation and wisdom sharing session. So today I just want to continue with the topic that I've been talking since last few weeks about choices. So as we have talked earlier about you know everything that is happening in our life, whatever it is happening, whatever decision or whatever choice that we are taking in our lives is solely taken by us. Now the difference there happens is whether you're taking it consciously by being aware, or you're just being unaware of your choices. But at the end of the day, it's you who are taking, or it's me who are taking who is taking the choices that are happening, or the decisions that are that eventually we take in our life are taken up by us only. So no other person is responsible for us to take, or for us to uh, you know uh, tell that this is the choice that you need to take. It is taken as by each individual, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. So that was something on that topic we have discussed on our first day, and how we take choices and what are the factors that affect our choices. We have just talked about it. And later we talked about the importance of perseverance, why we need to perceive whatever choice that we have taken, and how we have to perceive on that particular choice to achieve our goals, and how important is that aspect of perseverance in continuing with our choices. And later we talked about regrets, because regrets is something that will always follow around our choices. It's just all over our choices. So if it works, then it's fine. If it does not work, then we fall into that loop of regret. So we talked about it on the aspect of regret, on how we can use regret as a tool to better up our choices, to make our choices much better the next time when we try to take choices in our life. So today I wanted to talk on this particular topic, where I was reading a few books, and this is that information that I've gathered here and there, and my own understanding towards it, that how one can take better choices. See, we understood that every choice comes with a consequence. Every choice that you take in your life will have its own consequence. So when every choice is coming with consequences, and when you think about it, that everything around us is either a choice that you have taken right now, that's happening right now, or it's a consequence of the past choice that you have taken. So it's either of those, it falls under either of those two categories. So now we all want to, why do we make choices, or why do we want to have better choices in our life, or why do we want to take better decisions for ourselves in our life? Is to have a nice, good, happy, better future. So it's very imperative for us to that think about that, how can we make better choices every day? How can we better with our choices, better with our decisions? What are those factors that we can consider, or those I would say elements that we can consider while making those decisions for ourselves in our life? So this process of making decisions, which is nothing but making choices, isn't always straightforward, is not as simpler as being said. But there are some elements that we can consider in any kind of decision making, whether with respect to your work, or with respect to your family relationships, your investments, or anything. You can consider these elements that can be used in anywhere in your dimensions of your life, whether it's your health also, or your career, or your education. So everywhere we are making choices. So it's very, very important that we have to have a set of elements that we can consider before we make those major choices in our life, or major decisions in our life. So definitely decisions are important because they make our lives better. Having better decisions is important because they'll make our lives better, or they'll make our lives worse, depending on how well we make those decisions for ourselves in our life. So now the trick here is to find out the way that we make it in a right way, so we enjoy those fruits in a happier way. Otherwise we have our learnings, but the path becomes little rough. So let us make our path little easy for us to enjoy those fruits. So it's very important that we try to make right decisions. If at all we have not taken that right decision at that point of time, we need to identify it and start all over again and make the rectifications. So I came across this beautiful points that we can see for ourselves, I would say, when we are trying to make those decisions for ourselves, which will help us to make better choices for ourselves in our life. Now, the first thing is that first we need to know what we really want and what we don't want. This is the first very most important point that everyone should introspect, that when you're trying to take a decision for yourself, what is that you really want and what is that you really don't want. I think these are the two categories that we consider whenever we try to make any decisions, right? So we always see that, what is that I want and what is that I don't want. So these, our decision fall in either of these two categories. So we weigh those points accordingly and we take the decision. Now, here we need to understand that making a good decision means having a clear idea of what's really important to you. That is very, very important, that everyone should have a very clear idea of what is really important to you. To make good decisions for yourself, to make fruitful decisions for yourself, first we need to know about our strengths. First, we need to know about our weaknesses, our priorities in life, what makes us happy, and why does those things make us happy. So we need to have a broader understanding of all these categories. So if you don't know these things yet, if you don't know what your strengths are, if you don't know what your weaknesses are, what your priorities in our life is, what actually makes you happy and why does this thing make you happy, if you really don't know, then you need to take a break and you need to sit and try to self introspect. Take that enough time to self introspect, because what happens is that when you don't understand these things, like your strengths, like your weaknesses, your priorities in life, what actually you are truly, then the type of decisions that you're taking in your life are not truly towards your purpose of life. So it's due to the influence of some other choice, some other people's choices, or some other person's, if you might getting carried away by some other person's choices. So all these influences are making you to take some or the other way, will influence you in taking the decisions for yourself in your life. So once we have a clear picture of what we truly are, with respect to our strengths, our weaknesses, our priorities, what makes us happy, why does it makes us happy, why does those things make us happy, then the type of choices that we'll take will definitely have a broader understanding of what we really want to do with our life. So if you are facing a very important decision, like choosing a career, or deciding whether, or as simple as deciding whether or not to rent an apartment, whether or not to buy a dress or buy a car or a bike or anything, uh, you know I think you need to take some enough time to think through all the options before you make that final decision. And sometimes I would say that taking little too much of time is better than making an uninformed decision very quickly. There is no point rushing into something just because everything around, everyone or every person around you is pushing you towards making um, you have a quick answer towards it. So it's very important that you take that enough time rather than just hastily running upon something, and just to satisfy people around you, you take a decision that does not work. Because you need to understand that every choice that you take, you have to face this consequence. It's you have to face, not the other people around. So that's why no matter what it is, understand yourself, self introspect yourself, see what you truly are, and then try to make those major decisions in your life, because that will really help you mm, in enjoying your path rather than having that midlife crisis later in your life. So that is one thing. And the other thing is that whenever you take a good any kind of decision in your life, we have to have the desire to achieve the best possible result. So here it is very important that you need to consider, if you don't have the desire to get the best possible outcome, we always need to aim for the I think I would say that whatever best possible that you can think of, that is something which we need to always think about, rather than compromising on things, saying that I'll take this decision, I'll do only this much. No, we'll take that decision and we'll see that we'll get to the peaks. That is the, what do you say, vision that we need to have. We need to always desire for that. Otherwise it will be very difficult for us to make meaningful decisions for us, because it's as simple as that someone else is driving your car. So we need to take control of our own decision and aim for the best. Let's see what happens, and accordingly the possible effort will be put. Otherwise, we'll be compromising since from the beginning point of, from the start of the, what do you say, actual exercise itself. So it's very, very important that whatever decision that you take, you always have to desire for the best possible outcome that is possible for you. So here we also need to consider that you need to consider your own needs also, and also you need to consider the needs of other people. You need to see that you are surrounded by family, your friends, and the society that you are in. You need to consider all those things, and then you have to evaluate different options. And here we have to be very important that we don't get played by the emotions when we are making such kind of decisions in your life. So the emotions are something that will take us through a roller coaster ride, because we are always influenced by a lot of people around us. So it's very important that no matter what the other person say about your decision, we have to always achieve for the best possible outcome and go for it. And the third one is, I would say, that ability to recognize that there is a situation that is happening to you and it's problematic. So it might sound very obvious and very cliche that good decision making skills always require problem solving abilities also. That is also something which we have to learn when we are trying to make decisions for ourselves. So that is the first important part of any decision, or any good decision making is in process. Then the side ways that happens here is that we have to think for all the possible problems and how can we solve the problems. The problem solving skills should also be learned simultaneously. So for us to first solve the problem, I think first we need to identify that we are going through a problem. So how can we identify that you have taken a decision, you are going through that process, now we are facing a problem. How do you identify that problem? Or how do you identify that there's a problem right now that is happening to you that is stopping you from making a right decision? How do you identify this idea of problem that is happening right now? So first we need to understand that we need to take that current situation and see if there is something wrong in the possible outcomes that are happening towards the decision that you are taking. If you are feeling unsatisfactory, and if you're feeling that this is not the way that it should go, or you're feeling unhappy, or if you're feeling stuck, or these kind of things that you can observe in a situation. And when you see that there are some kind of things that are happening, then you need to stop, you need to introspect and see that if there is any change that you can do to that particular decision that you are right now implementing. So sometimes it also happens that we take all the possible measures, and we look into the pros and cons and everything. And sometimes we need to understand that we don't always have control over what happens in our lives. We of course, human being tries to be control freak, but we need to understand that we don't have all the control on our lives. But even when things happen by chance or accident, I would rather say subconscious manifestations of your lower emotions, we can see such situations as lessons to be learned. In that condition, we need to understand that how much ever what do you say, bulletproof, or how much ever problematic solving proof that you have created for yourself the situation, sometimes the problems come from out of the blue. And at that time we need to understand that we need to see that situation or that particular scenario as a lesson that we need to learn, and those lessons will definitely next time help us to make better choices. So there is nothing, no lose here in any kind of situation that is happening for us. It's always a gain. But how do you see that particular problem gives you that perspective towards understanding of making better choices next time. So always see that the problem or the block that is happening to you as a lesson that you can learn, and make sure that you apply that lesson next time so that you make better choices for yourself. So first, the third most important thing here is that first we have to understand, or we need to be open enough to recognize that there's a particular situation that you are in, there might be a problem. So first you need to understand that there is a problem, and then we need to develop that problem solving skills, how you can implement and get out of that problem. Now the fourth thing here, you can important element that we can use for making better choices for ourselves is that we need to separate information into two categories, that is facts and opinions. Now it's very, very important that we make, it's very common that we make decisions every day. Sometimes you make those decisions at your work, sometimes for your personal life. Sometimes they might be very small decisions, sometimes they might be very big decision that's going to change your life forever. So, but no matter how big or the small decision is, every decision that we make in our life is based on information that we have, based on the facts that we have. That's how we need to understand. But here you need to see that the information should be properly divided into fact and should be properly divided into opinion. So now what is this right information and how can we divide it into facts and opinion is, what are facts? Facts are something which is more like an objective evidence, we can say. No, we have these people who have already used that path, or people who have already implemented it. There are results towards it. There are proper documentation or evidence or reports, analysis towards anything. Those are considered as facts. So what are opinions? Opinions are nothing but, these are the information or the things that people believe, individual belief, because they have convinced themselves of that particular thing, or because they believe that something is very true, very right in its information for their own personal reasons or for their own past experiences. So we need to see both the information. It's not like we should not take opinions of people. We need to see both the information, but we need to understand, clearly demarcate what is fact and what is opinion of a person. So when we divide the information into these two categories, I think it will be easy for us on how to apply that information and help us to better make our choices. This is the fourth thing. And the fifth thing is that when you make decisions, we also need to understand that we are also simultaneously making decisions and how you will act on uncertain environment. See, not every thing is very planned, or you are very sure of this, that this event is going to manifest in that particular way. You should also be, it's very essential to consider the long-term impact of your decisions, because every decision that you're taking will have a much, much bigger impact on your life. For example, just think about any decision that you have taken like 10 or 15 years back and how that impact is happening right now. So we need to understand that whatever decision that you have taken like 10 years back, it is having an impact. You are living that consequence right now. So it's very important that while you are making a decision, you are also making or preparing yourself that you are ready to act for that particular uncertain environment that might come for whatever the choice that you have taken. So when you decide on something, or when you are making a choice, you're not only deciding what to do now, but also how the decision will affect the rest of your life. So that is also something which you need to consider. For example, as simple as that, if you, like me, when you have decided to study in a different city, as simple as that, it is a very small scenario that I'm taking. When you are deciding to study in some other city, that will definitely change the time you spend with your friends, your family. You're exposed to a new environment, and eventually that will also affect your career options later in your life. You wanted to become something, but that city change, or the people you have met, or whatever it is, those events that follow up after that will definitely influence your career options also. You never know it. So we need to understand that what you have to be ready to act in that uncertain environment also. So when making decisions such as where you live, where you're investing your money, your time, your power, and what career path you want to take, when you consider all these choices, these decisions, they will definitely impact your future life. That is very true. So here we need to understand that you don't need to be very cautious or fearful or pessimistic or on this particular thing, but just try to, at that point of time when you make that decision, just try to imagine or visualize what might have happened if things don't go as you planned. Just a thought, and consider whether there is any meaningful action or outcomes in such situations. Basically, do you have any backup plan in those situations? So you need to introspect your decision in that way, because there is always a possibility that there might be an uncertain environment which you're not ready. So you need to make yourself ready that I am making this decision, this is my proper path or plan, or I'm taking all the factors into consideration, all the pros and cons, all the measures that I'm taking, but still have to make yourself, or you have to prepare yourself for that uncertainty that might happen. So that also you need to mentally prepare yourself for that, not to be in a shock at that moment. So that is also something which you need to take into consideration while you're making a decision. Then other sixth one is, you need to have a very clear, which is very important, a very clear, calm mind to make right decisions. It is very, very important, because making right decisions is very, very critical. You cannot afford to make mistakes or get distracted. So you must be focused, you must be very clear headed, as much as possible when you're making this kind of decisions for your life or choices for your life. So so if you're feeling very stressed, or if you're feeling very anxious, or you're in a roller coaster of your high negative emotions, then it can be challenging to think very clearly, not to get biased with certain opinions. So that's why it's essential to take time out of your busy schedule. Just relax yourself before making decisions that affect your business, your work, your relationships. So this can be as simple as that you can sit into meditation. If you are going through that, what do you say, mind clogging. So take some time and sit into meditation, or take a 15 minutes walk, or take some few deep breaths, do some pranayama, or go for a nature walk or a nature trail. Sometimes as simple as taking a good long sleep, or any relaxation technique that would work for you. Always relax and then think about whatever decision you want to do. Don't do it in a when you're feeling very stressed or when you're feeling very anxious. That's very important. Now, seventh point is here, which you can take into consideration while making decisions, are every decision requires some level of compromise. But here we need to see that compromise does not have to be taken into a negative thing or a bad thing. So let us discuss on this idea of compromise, because it's very true that whenever you're taking a job, suppose you got a job with a very high salary, but when you see the other side of the balance, you see that there is a less work-life balance, or it might be affecting your or whatever the healthcare decisions that you want to take for yourself, it is affecting that, or whatever passions that you want to have perceive in your life, it is affecting that. But there is a very high salary on the other side. Now you have to, whatever decision that you take, you will think that there's a compromise that you are doing for whatever choice that you're taking here. And it's also true that when, whether be it's your career, or whether the type of college that you pick, the choices that you get while picking a college, or whatever it is, we always see towards the end that you have compromised on something to get something. So this idea of compromise, we need to change it. We need to see it in a what do you say, better perspective, in a positive way, rather than a bad thing. So here we need to understand that when we think about big decisions, we often have difficulty remembering, we'll think about all those compromises that are involved, mainly because we often think that compromise as a negative thing. But here we need to understand that compromise is not a bad thing, because when you compromise in one area of your life, if you feel like you're compromising in one area of your life, you're making room for other areas in your life to flourish and to prosper. So suppose as simple as that, if you decide that your budget will only allow you to take a vacation this summer, only one vacation this whole year instead of two, then maybe the next year your budget will allow you, there will be little more money that can be accumulated, which will help you to have two vacations instead of the next coming year. Or maybe that amount that you have that you feel that you have compromised on a vacation can be used for making you pick a better car or a better vehicle, or it can be used for your emergency fund. So there is nothing like compromise or anything. It's just like when you're trying to cut down on some things to enjoy that particular thing, there is another area in your life that is being flourished. I think you can see that in that way. So rather than seeing it in a negative thing. So whatever decision you're making, don't see that you're compromising on those in these things to have that decision. Don't start it in a negative way. Rather than see it in a positive way that you are taking up this particular decision. So there are some better things that are going to happen to your life because of that particular decision. So see compromise as a positive thing rather than a negative thing. And eighth one is um, um, when you're faced with a difficult choice, here this is very important. Sometimes, when you are faced with a difficult choice, a good intuitive decision making skill can make the difference. So what is this good intuitive skill that will make the difference? So whatever the aspects or elements that we have discussed so far on how to make a better decision, even though you consider all these things, you have got right information, you have taken up all the possible pros and cons, you have thought about the future, the backup plans, you have taken all possible measures that are required to consider as taking a really good decision. Even after those informed decision that you have come into, there is one block that is preventing you to take that final call. Sometimes it happens to us. We know that everything is right, but we are not able to take that final call. Something is stopping us. It becomes very difficult for us to take that decision. Somewhere we are stuck. So in such cases, it's very important that you go with your intuition, because good intuition can definitely will help you to take the best decision. Now here we need to understand that we don't know the possible future outcome. It might even go wrong, but at least we need to see that you are not stuck with that decision fatigue. You're not stuck there. At least you're moving forward. I think this is a beautiful point. That many a times in our life we're just stuck there. We are unable to move forward. So at that point of time, we look for other people, we look for our masters, or whether it's your spiritual or in your everyday life. Sometimes we go to gurus, or we go to people there, we ask for them, we ask for their choice, and then we are again stuck. We are unable to take the decision there. The only thing that will help you to move forward is your intuition. That's it. So believe in your intuition and just go forward. Whether it's good or bad, eventually it's happening for the betterment of you. So the result might be good or bad. At least you're not stuck there, you're moving forward. So that is one thing that will definitely help in your better decision making. And the ninth point here is that, the good decision, always a good decision requires a very thoughtful planning. I think this is very, very important, because making a final decision or coming onto a choice or picking up a good choice is okay, it's excellent, but putting that into action will take some planning and some organization. Half work is done, but the 70% work or 80% work is there. Now that requires proper planning and organization to implement what the decision that you have taken. We need to understand like most of the people, even you, me, have lot of things that are going right now. We have work, we have our family, we have our friends, we have our social life, and the list is long, very long. And then we have to make enough time to spend room to spend that enough time to make decisions for ourselves. As simple as what type of toothpaste you want to buy at the supermarket, and what type of dresses or whatever jewelry you want to buy, or what type of career path you want to choose, what type of person you want to marry. All these are decisions in your life. So these come under different sections of your holistic life. So here we need to understand that it's easy to let these everyday mundane decisions to fall by wayside when you are busy doing other things. But if you don't plan our lives very effectively and efficiently, we can waste valuable time and energy on things that don't matter for us in the long run. So this means that sometimes we need to put more thought into how we approach our everyday decisions, so that they don't take over our lives. here, so that's why it's very important that your everyday mundane life should be very effectively and efficiently planned, so that you have enough time for yourself when where you can spend that quality time to take that major decisions in your life. Otherwise, we get so stressed out to decide what to sometimes, what to cook also. We get like, what do I need to cook for this entire week or anything. So if we have that planning done properly for the next coming week, then we have got enough time, we don't waste our energy and everything, and that energy will be very nicely used where it is actually required sometimes. So make sure that your mundane everyday life is very effectively planned, so that you have enough time and energy where you can use it for better, bigger decisions for in your life. So that good thoughtful planning in that way is very important. That will help you to make better decisions for yourself in your life. And the last one, I would say that sometimes, to make right decisions, we need to consider more than just our own point of view on the possible solution. So here it is like that when you're faced with a problem, you're getting stuck in your own perspective. There is a chance that you're getting stuck with your own perspective and you're unable to solve that problem. So at that point of time, it's very important that you just take a step back and see it in a wider picture, and see that you consider to have multiple perspectives at that time. So we need to take the time to think about what people around us might do in the same situation that you are in right now. Why they might do things differently than you do. We need to look at all the possible outcomes of our decisions. We need to see what are influencing our decision making at that point of time. So for that particular thing, you just need to step back and see, take a point of view from other persons and see where you are lacking, what is making your that factor that is affecting you to take that proper decision. So having that multiple perspective sometimes will help you to take go forward with the decision, or make better decision for yourself in your life. So all these points, or these particular 10 points that I have told you, there are many more, obviously. So just to repeat that, first foremost is, for you to make a better decision in your life, is that first you need to understand yourself. That is, what are your emotional status, and what are your likes, your dislikes, what is your strength, your weakness, what makes you happy and why it makes you happy. All the self introspection is very important, because once you are very sure on all these aspects, I think whatever decision you are going to take, it will be aligned with your purpose of life, definitely. So the journey is going to be very smooth. So for that, self understanding your own self is very important. The second one is, we need to first always have the best possible desire outcome of, desire to have that best possible outcome. So whatever decision you take, always achieve or always desire for the best possible thing to happen. Don't get carried away by the people around you, and don't get carried away by the emotions of the people around you. Always look around to the people around you, because your family, your friends, everyone are a part of your string. So we need to take them also into consideration, but make sure that you don't get carried away by those emotions, and always be strong on your decision, and always aim for the best possible outcome. And the third one is, always be open enough to understand that you're going through a problem, to see and understand that your situation that you are in might be having a problem. That's why you are stuck. So for that, you need to see into your current situation, and you always have to develop that problem solving technique also. That is very important for any good decision that you'll take in your life. And the fourth one is, understand your information properly, see it as a fact or as an opinion of others. Try to differentiate it, weigh both the things, but first try to see the information into these two categories, and then try to weigh it properly, and then take the decision. And the other one is, whenever you're trying to make decision for yourself, you need to understand that you're also deciding to act in uncertain environments. So always, how much ever things that you have planned, try to have a backup plan, or at least prepare yourself that there might be something that might go wrong, and you're ready to face it. And the thing other is that, most important thing is that whenever you try to make a decision, have a clear, calm mind, don't rush in a haste to just to satisfy the people around you. Don't take any decisions like that in your life, because you have to face the consequences, not they. So that is very important. And the other thing is that there's nothing like compromise in any decision that you take, because we always decide upon two things. Sometimes we have to pick one among those two things. So there is nothing like compromise here. We need to understand that whenever you're picking something, you're making room to for some other thing to prosper and grow. So think compromise as a positive thing, not as a bad thing. And whenever you go through difficult situations, always have a good intuitive mind, good intuitive heart, I would say. Sorry. Always go with your heart, go through that intuition, because rather than getting stuck with that decision fatigue, at least you'll move forward, whether it's good or wrong. At least you're moving forward, you're not stuck there. And always have a thoughtful planning of your day, so that you use your time and power efficiently for better decision making. And to make right choices, sometimes you have to step back and get multiple perspective, rather than getting stuck in your own perspective or your own point of view. So that will also help, that, and having that also element also will help you to make better choice. So sometimes it is, even going through all these things, sometimes it's easier to just go with the flow, follow your instinct and just go with the flow. But I would say that if you want to make better decisions for yourself and also those around you, and if you want those decisions to last for long, enjoy the fruits of those decisions for a longer time, in a much happier way. The only thing is that we need to keep training ourselves to become a better decision maker. So we need to, rather than depending on someone else or just going with the flow, sometimes try to use your intellectual mind and see how you can analyze things, and um, take the information and try to make better choices for yourself in your life. So for that, you need to train yourself, and that will definitely increase your intuitive abilities also. Try to you will, in that process, better up your intuitive abilities also, and that's how will definitely will help you to make better choices for yourself. So this is something on my side, but I would really love to hear. There are many people here on, you would have taken so many choices or big decisions in your life. So I want to see just want to hear from you, what was those criteria, or what was the things that you considered when you were making those things or implementing those choices for yourself and carrying on with those choices further in your life, and how impactful was it for you? So yeah, masters, anyone? Yeah, masters, anyone wants to share anything, just as simple as whatever choices, how it has impacted you, what was the criteria that you have taken in your life as a consideration whenever you take? Yes. Yeah, Vindhya ma'am.
Yeah, hi Ravli ma'am. First of all, thank you. I missed many of your sessions because of my travel or internet issues. I'm so happy I could connect today. You took so much of effort and you explained everything point wise and with your examples. So thank you very much. Beautiful explanation. At the same time, as you were explaining, not everything connected with me, because that is not how I am. I think at least that's not how I made my decisions. I do understand some major decisions or some important decisions. Maybe you have to go through the steps that you mentioned, all the planning, all the consider all the consequences, prepare for everything. Like sometimes even for mundane things, you have mentioned that you should, and maybe that'll free up your time, and so you should make. Personally, I have made most of my decisions by intuition. intuition, like even my job, when I took my job, to quit my job, and then to pick up my new job, what came from within me, I don't know if you call that intuition or if it was, but I was listening to my deep voice, or which I called intuition, and it was good for me because I listened to myself, and I took afterwards. After some time, yes, things changed and it didn't work out, but I was ready to accept. It was like a ride. I took that ride, and after that, when it changed, I was ready to change. Go by what other choices. Maybe you can call it go with the flow. I don't know, but I'm ready. I am ready to make that choice to go with the flow. So I don't have that much of a problem. Sometimes there is roughness, but I'm still trying to change myself to think, how we are learning adventure. Anything that comes, take it as an adventure. There's a learning. It hasn't completely become, but that is a different style. So what you said is a very calculated, very planned. And I think if you're working, you're doing business, major decisions you're taking, and you're affecting so many other people's life, maybe it is needed. That's what I felt. Because, the quotes like these come to my mind when, life is what happens when you're busy planning. That is something that has always come to mind. It's because we plan so much, vacations or what. It always happened to us. We plan major vacations, like if you go to Europe. Everyone told us you have to plan a year before you get better deals. Everything else is good. And practically those have not worked out for us. The 2-3 times it happened. We planned, and on that time it never, something else happened. We had to cancel, and then we actually lost the money and so many other things. So I don't know. Yes, it is good, but at the same time, I have not experienced a great benefit in planning too much ahead. And the other thing that what is we plan and God disposes, and those kind of things always come to me. So maybe my thinking process is different, but maybe I am very lazy to try and train myself to all this process. You said no, you have to train yourself to make good decisions, informed decision. Maybe that is also the case. So I just wanted to give my perspective here. But there is a learning. I have to learn too. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Vindya ma'am. Thank you. Yeah, Asha ma'am.
Hi, you're so right in giving all these perspectives. It's really important to think about all these things before making any important decision, even small one or bigger one. Major decision in your life or small decisions, but sometimes you don't have time to think about it, or you're put in a situation you have to decide quickly. Especially working in the ER, I have to decide in seconds what I need to do next. So, I mean, your experience and, knowledge helps you in that, but not every time. And you just go with the flow and try to do the best you can under the circumstances you are in. Most of the time, hopefully it'll work out fine. Same with taking an exam too. You have different multiple choice, you have different choices. And, usually you get stuck with the last two. And you have to pick the right one, otherwise you'll miss the question. So, yeah, you're right, especially in life decisions. I probably said this already, but when I was in high school, I wanted to be everything else but medical student. And my mom said, no, you have to finish your education first, and then you can do whatever else you want. And of course, my parents guided me in the right path, thankfully. Plus, the one thing that kind of disappointed me was I got the score to get into med school, but I was 2 months short of 16. I had to be 16 to go to med school. And I finished my 12th grade, 2 months short of it. So they didn't give me the seat. Actually, my seat went to another friend of mine, and she was happy that she got the seat. I got more score than her, but I didn't get the seat because of the age. So I got upset and said, okay, I'll do MS, my BSc, MSc, and PhD. I don't want to be a medical doctor. So I joined in BSc, and I saw the girls were it was a women's college, of course, and they were not interested in studying. They were into fashions and, all this stuff. And me and my friend got really frustrated going to school there. They were into everything else but education. So I said, oh, this is not it. And I don't want to make slides of stems and, dissect frogs and this and that, which we did. And I said, okay, this is not working. So then they had an entrance exam in a different, in the other side. We were in Telangana and they had an entrance exam. So we both went and took the exam casually without even preparing much. And we got seat. Both of us got seat, not in town, but it was away from home. So it was a tough decision for my family to send me away or wait another 6 months for the admissions to start in our town. So we both wanted to go, and we already wasted some time and all that. So we both had to sit down and convince my parents. Her parents were fine, but they wanted me to go with her. So their parents had to come and sit with my parents. And we did a really lot of discussion. And of course, my parents couldn't afford to send me away to a different town with the fees and everything and included. So it was tough for them, but they still went along with me and agreed. So finally I went to med school in a different town. So, and away from home. And we were both, me and my friend used to sit and cry sometimes because we missed home. We were, not old enough to get away somewhere else. So yeah, but it was a really good experience. We had really good teachers and, we learned a lot, a hands-on experience and really wonderful teachers. I really still remember all of them. And, it laid a good foundation for me to be a better doctor. And then luckily we had an opportunity to get transferred back to Osmania in Hyderabad, and we got transferred. We were in the transfer batch. So I was behind my regular batch. So I was in the transfer batch, but still, we four of us stuck together and studied together. And I could actually achieve really good scores. So I think, I don't know, whether to believe in faith that it had to happen that way, or whether it was the decisions I made in life and all that. So again, coming back to the topic we're at focus now, it was really tough decisions to make, and I made that choice, and I'm glad I did. It was difficult, very hard to go through initially, but I'm glad I did what I did. And we really had a good time there too. Initially it was tough, but after that we were into, Ananda Brahma, we were participating in dance competitions, sports, everything. We were all really outgoing people, and people there were very timid and shy. It was a smaller town, Kurnool, and they were shy, but we were the most outspoken and more aggressive of the people. So it was good to have good friendships, and I still maintain friendships with those girls. And one is in India, she's an OBGYN, and the other lady is in Chicago, she's a pathologist. The other person we lost touch with, she's somewhere in Dubai, they said, but it was great to have that good friendships, and we are continuing that. So it was a tough decision, but I think I made the decision. I think a lot of people are waiting to talk, so I'll stop my talk. But thank you again for your perspective on making decisions. And it's really important that we think it through and make it. And thank you, Ravli ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Asha ma'am. Beautiful journey you had. Yeah. So thanks so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah. Srini sir. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Ravi ma'am, for continuing the wisdom sharing on these wonderful topics. So I'm currently reading a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. The author is saying, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the author is saying we should not have choices based on goals. Rather than we should believe in setting good processes because each choice, when it is linked with a goal, most of the times it leaves a disappointment also.
Mm.
So instead, what he is suggesting is have good processes in place. For example, if weight reduction is a goal, set good practices that are useful for weight reduction, like getting up early, going for physical routine, and then have some good food habits. So if you start believing in all those things, then ultimately one day you will achieve the goal. So on these processes will help you in right direction. So according to him, what he says is a goal is only a direction in a progress, and having process is always helping you to achieve the goals in the longer time. So in my capacity as a CEO of company, like the earlier two madams said, you have to go with the flow also because each decision is an opportunity to learn and set things right in further taking the decisions. So have some good practices, processes, and then it will help you taking the right choices, which will eventually turning into good decisions. That's all I want to say.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Upendra, sir.
Uh, Thank you, Ravli ma'am. It's a beautiful discussion again. When I look, I have a slightly different perspective on decision making because I've been in a public life, and there is certain decisions require for you to take risks. For example, which candidate you want to support, whatever, governor, president, whatever it is. Also, in my case, in 2012, I jumped into the race to run for U.S. Congress, and also did that in 2014. And didn't have a whole lot of time, but yeah, again, as Sinisa said, that it's a learning experience. You you jump in and you do the things, and of course, for a decision making process, you need a process. And being an engineer and analytical thinking, a lot of personal decisions like vacation, travel, or job search. You use a lot of that. Thinking in terms of how analyze it, and then sometimes you analyze it to death and don't make no decision at all. And but there is a element of intuition is there. Recently I was trying to plan a vacation. August 8th I wanted to go, and I have grandchildren were traveling in a different place, and so there was some other thing related to my work, and I was comfortable making the reservations needed for the travel. And we won't believe it. My grandchildren came back earlier. They were supposed to come back after 4 weeks visiting their father. They came back. They came back earlier, and my job was such that I had to take a retirement. And so all these things, sometimes you jump in and you analyze it, but sometimes there is something inner voice or whatever is telling, hey, maybe it's a procrastinate a little bit, maybe more information, more data will be available for you to make a better decision. Sometimes that happens. But another type of decision I notice is that it's basically emotional, and when somebody is in trouble and you want to help them, and you don't have a whole lot of time to go through process and analyze it. You just want to roll your sleeves and help that person. It does. Whatever the difficulty they are in, And so I think that's how I look at, from my personal experience. I have made all kinds of decisions. Yeah, I would not call them wrong decisions, but they're all learning experiences. And of course, you initially always have the buyer's remorse. You think that, oh my God, why did I do that? But upon reflection, you feel that, yeah, you made the best decision possible at what with the information available. But as you probe more and more into it, and the clarity will be there. And so I think you need to choose the situation. A lot of the decision is situational. You cannot. There's no formula for one type of process or one type of decision making is going to work for all the situations. So I think that's what I like to share. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful, Upendra sir. I think that all points are very relevant, but good decision making also involve risk taking abilities also. Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Ramakrishna sir.
Yes, madam. Do not mistake me if I say you have been Sri Krishna as he preached to Arjuna, to this particular team. I know people could easily mistake or misunderstand, because Gita was never an easy thing to understand, even for Arjuna, such a knowledgeable person as he was. So I tried to make a note of what you said. I just want to go over a little bit on that, how agreeable you are with Gita, saying that do not take decisions in an emotion or with a kind of attachment. So detachment is preached in there, and I think you did advise that. And then when you are taking a decision, make it a knowledgeable decision. Beware of all the circumstances involved in it. That's what he said, and I'm sure that you said the same thing too. And also you said, once a decision is taken, accept the outcomes, absolutely, and whatever the results are there. And that's what Krishna preached too. Do not hesitate to take a decision, but take an informed decision. And also have faith in superpower and your soul plan, in spite of your freedom of will. Yes, you use your freedom of will, take some kind of a decision, stand by that. But if the outcomes are different, yes, agree to it. Don't go mad on it. And learn lessons from failure. Listen to your own consciousness. Yes, that's what you preach too. So think current outcomes. If it is a failure, then take that as a basis for success in the future. And then lastly, I think what you said also is that dharma karma and dharma artha, they are never bad. Keep your desires, but follow the righteous path of the desire. And make money, no doubt, but make it in a righteous way. I think this is the last one I have added, which probably you did not mention. But Sri Krishna made it very clear to follow Purusharthas from Gita. And yeah, in my own life, yes, there have been several failures, at least 6 different chapters that we have come across. But finally, the ultimate satisfaction that you get is that you are associated with a good group. And at the end of the period, or say about 10% of the last stage of your life, as long as you realize what is the truth, that's the best that you can do. 90% of the time, you have been after the physical goals. As I said, karma and artha, whether it is dharma or not, we still followed a lot of it. But last few years, at least, if you have been following dharma, that's all that's needed. I'm so sorry to hear some of them contradict you to say that this is not the way, this is not what my experience have been. But anyone who has taken a decision, accept the results. If your judgment has gone wrong, don't blame others. And your consciousness probably guided you in a different way, in an accepting the job or in an accepting your wife or whatever it is. But live with it. Try to fight till the end for the desired result that you wanted. If it doesn't come, it's okay. That's not the way it is destined to be. So once again, let me say, Ravli Madam, you were Krishna of this association.
Okay. No, sir, nothing. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. You viewed it beautifully, sir. You tried to compare it, and yeah, I was also like shocked. It was very nice, sir. Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Sumesh, sir. Yeah, we
It
can't
was
hear.
wonderful, actually.
Yes,
Sorry.
sir. Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Yeah.
Yes, morning, madam. It was wonderful, actually. Just one thing, my life journey, I wanted to narrate in a 5 or 6 steps, where actually my intention to take decision is different, and the soul plan is different, and how it went deviated from my intention and the decisions. Just I'm a diploma of civil engineer, completed in 1990. I should say 1990, and then I wanted to pursue BE civil engineering. So I got the best college government seat also. That is the decision I went through. But unfortunately, actually, my family financial condition is I am in Shimoga and then in Karnataka, and I wanted to pursue in Mysore and Bangalore and Mysore. So my financial the family condition is not good to send me to pursue BE. So this is the first decision I took, but the soul plan is different, actually. So then I came back, and I got a job in Diploma College itself as an instructor, and I went to South Kendra, Manipal. You know Manipal, actually, it is a famous thing, actually. And there I started pursuing the alternative to BE, that is AMIE, actually, alternative to Bachelor of Engineering. So there is a section A, section B. So I completed the section A. By 3 years time, actually, I was in education, the institute, and it was supporting very well. Actually, I can complete the alternative to BE and then pursue later stage as a lecturer, professor. This is what actually my decision at that time. But suddenly, actually, my mother got breast cancer. Actually, I need to shift my base to Bangalore to take care of my mother, and I disconnected that particular education. So that is also the experience, and the soul plan is changed now. I came back to Bangalore, actually. Then I joined to the construction industry. So I'm a civil engineer. I joined to the construction industry. So it is a totally shift from the education department to the construction industry. And I need to survive. I need to take care of my mother. So this is actually the third shift, actually, which against decision and the soul plan is pulling me in some other direction. So I started working in a construction industry, and then okay, I wanted to pursue very committed life in construction industry. I did a lot of the big buildings and apartments and things like that. So then there was a okay, I need to marry at that time. Civil engineer ke liye nobody will give the girl, actually. That is also an experience. Then I started looking for a very good company. I got a very good company, the selection in Bangalore. But there is a one change here. So in construction industry, there is a another the dimension called the quality check and the post construction care property management. So I when I went for the interview in one of the reputed big builder, and they seen my the committed quality consciousness, and they put me into different division, and it is a called as property management division. So I shifted from there. Actually, it was not my cup of coffee, but it is not my decision. Actually, I shifted there, and it is my journey started from there, and then it is pursuing and all. I got into the leadership team, And then recently, I have not done any Bachelor of Civil Engineering. I'm still a diploma in Civil Engineering. At the same moment, I started doing MBA, pursuing MBA in Leadership Management, and doing environmental management. I wanted to contribute to the environment and society. So I did MBA in environmental management. So my totally from the beginning and today's shift is totally changed. And I am, as on today, actually, I'm taking care of all South India's thing. I'm right now I'm at Hyderabad. Actually, I've traveled actually for inspection. So this is what I'm trying to tell, that actually sometimes we take a decision, try to do this, then there is a total shift in the our soul plan, and the dot connected here actually it will take unknowingly, unnoticingly, it take us in a different dimension. And that is what actually my life journey is. And even one very important twist is, I applied for a government job, I got the government job, list is announced in there is a BDA in Bangalore, Bangalore Development Authority. I got appointed there in BDA, and list is announced, and I was about to join. Suddenly there is a twist in the government actually saying that this list stands cancelled straight away, because of giving the reasons that actually financial issues, and giving the reasons that there is a huge the engineers are already there, spare engineers, we don't want to take these engineers, so list is cancelled. So I deprived from the government job also. But later stage actually I felt that that is not my cup of coffee, because our commitment and our honesty and sincerity cannot be done in especially in government job. So we need to go in a different so that the soul plan is pushing or pulling or whichever the direction and taking the path, and we
Umesh,
started accepting.
yeah, Umesh
So
ji.
this is just, I wanted to say one last sentence, sir. This is whatever decision we are taking and whatever the planning we are doing, sometimes actually the flow will take us as a soul plan and taking the deviation. This is what just I wanted to share. That is the reality of life.
Thank you.
Just
Yeah, thank you, Umesh ji. And
Yes, sir.
yeah, Ramakrishna sir, just to echo to, and I agree with you completely what you just mentioned earlier. And thank you, Ravli madam, for a beautiful narration of the continuation. For any decision that we take in our lifetime, okay, any day, any minute, because that's purely that what you are going through and what you are looking at. And as Ravli madam said in the first class itself, the pros and cons, how you look at it. Because if you are going to take a quick decision, then if you are not going to look at your pros and cons, then who is responsible for that? And you are the whole responsibility. But that's where actually it starts the blame game. So once you get into that blame game of doing the justification to your decision, then nobody can help you. So I just wanted to bring that one point to support, as Ramakrishna has said beautifully, that everybody is responsible for their own decisions, no matter what, whether it is going to take in this direction or that direction or up direction or down direction, it doesn't matter. So you are the whole solely responsible for your decision, and you need to have that guts to accept it. If you are not going to accept it, if it is a failure, doesn't matter, as Ramakrishna sir said, yeah, you just need to accept it. You just need to invite it. And then you just need to look at it and what happened, why it has happened in this way. So why it has not happened in the way that I thought. So just look at it and change the direction, or change the decision that what you have made, and make it another decision and on top of it, but don't blame it. So I just wanted to add that point. That's all. Thank you, Ramakrishna sir and Ravli.
Yeah, thank you, Ashok sir. I think the comparison that Ramakrishna sir has done is very beautifully. I had never expected it. I didn't know also. So yeah, maybe I have to read Gita now. Okay, so thank you so much, sir. But I feel whatever choices that you are taking, whether you do it very consciously or unconsciously, period, it is taken by you. You use your intuition, you use your intellectual mind, or you do it consciously or anything, you have to be responsible for your consequences. was
I, I wanted to ask a question to Ramakrishna sir. Ramakrishna sir has so much of an experience, and Ramakrishna sir, you ever faced a decision has been taken by yours in your past life, and if it has gone in the opposite direction of what you thought, then did you ever blamed any person or a system or a process?
Sir, Ashagar, yes, that happened in my life. I was chosen by the Public Service Commission, if you know Indian system, for a government job as Assistant Director of Mines and Geology, just by my qualifications. But then, for some reason or other, my wife was an employee in Syndicate Bank as a manager. So both of us decided that, all right, if I take up the government job, I will be somewhere else, my wife will be somewhere else, and my children would have to be educated somewhere else. So I decided against it. Of course, I did blame some circumstances at that time, but later on, that has led me into United States, settled down in the United States. Now, because of that, both of my kids are medical doctors, very senior positions in United States. If I had accepted that job, just going back and thinking about it, I would have retired possibly, a few years ago. I would never have been able to come over here at all. So why that happened? Probably this is the why it was destined to be happening. I don't want to blame anybody for that, because it was my decision that I did not accept the job. In spite of the fact God put me in that position to be Assistant Director of Mines and Geology, I would have retired in a few years as a Director of Mines and Geology Department. I hope it answers your question, sir.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know that you have so much of an experience, and it is going to help the people to understand that what you just echoed earlier. So just to listen to one of your experiences, that's also, that's the way I just asked.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, though. Ravli madam, I really appreciate it. Once again.
Thank you, Ramakrishna sir.
Okay, Masters, we will do a 10 minutes meditation. Thank you for all the participation and sharing. Masters, just relax your physical body. Sit in the most comfortable position. Close your eyes. Crisscross your legs, interlock your fingers. Just take a couple of deep breaths. Breathe in. Fill up your lungs. Whenever you're ready, slowly, comfortably exhale. One more deep breath. Deep inhalation. Slowly expand your beautiful lungs. Whenever you're ready, slowly, comfortably exhale. One more deep inhalation. Expand your lungs. And slowly, comfortably exhale. Now just scan your physical body from head to toe. Be aware of your physical body. Bring that awareness and attention onto your physical body. Scan your physical body, starting from your head, your forehead, your eyes, your nose, your neck, start scanning it at your own comfortable pace. Bring that awareness and attention onto your physical body. For the next couple of seconds. Observe your chest region, your back, your fingers, your shoulders, your stomach, your hips, your legs. Just scan your physical body at your own comfortable pace. Try to take that inhalation and exhalation. Beautiful. Now, whenever you're ready, just get back to your normal, natural, rhythmic breathing. You're doing Anapanasati meditation. Ana means in breath, Apana means out breath. And just be with that breath. Observe the breath. Whenever you're flooded with thoughts, just come back and start observing your breath. Masters, let us express our gratitude. Be thankful for this wonderful moment where we all got together to meditate, to share our wisdom, our understanding, our experience in our life with each other, with so much love and compassion. Express your gratitude for this moment, for this time, to each other. Express your gratitude to your divine physical body, to your higher self. To each and every person that you're surrounded by, your friends, your family, your mother, your father, your spouse, your children, grandchildren, extended family, your colleagues at work, the people you get to meet randomly in a day. Every person that we interact is helping us to evolve our consciousness, to enhance our learning experience. Every day is a progression. Express your gratitude to this Mother Earth. We are an ecosystem. We are not alone on this planet, surrounded by beautiful trees, plants, flowers, insects, birds, animals. We're surrounded by all living and non-living entities. Everything is matter. Everything is made up of energy. We are energy beings, each one going through their own experience. Express your gratitude to this wonderful moment at this time happening right now on this planet Earth. Express your gratitude for all the things that you have in your life, all those inanimate objects you get to use every day, as simple as your toothbrush, your comb, your phone, your laptop, the car you drive. Everything is energy. It is working in synchronicity with you. Express your gratitude to all those things that you have in your life. Masters, whenever you're ready, just rub your fingers, your palms together. Put those palms onto your eyes and slowly open your eyes on the count of 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whenever you're ready, just open your beautiful eyes and enjoy the rest of the day and have a beautiful night. Drink some water if you want. It's been a very good session, very informative sharing, a lot of different perspectives. Thank you so much, everyone, for giving me this opportunity where I got to speak my thing. And thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.